When you look at, I have to climb 14,000 feet, I have to walk about 130 kilometers, it's overwhelming. But you take a baby step. You're not going to do that overnight. Step by step. You
With some
from
breaks,
camp
yes.
1 to camp 2, one break.
Yeah.
And then you look at it. So, okay, this is my problem. I have 5 different problems. Which is my priority? Right?
Yeah.
So I always say, okay, my boss's problem is my priority and I solve that. So that's how you look at it. So then you start addressing things in a systematic way. It's just not about addressing things. It's also how you find a way that the solution that you're giving is sustainable.
Okay.
So if you look at your Six Sigma concepts, right, there's repeatability and process. So it's how you are making sure that the same mistake is not repeated. To err is human. I mean, we always say that. But if you keep repeating, it's foolishness.
Yes.
That's where you need to identify what is your skill and the will. So if you're not able to identify the will issues, everything falls on your plate and you get overwhelmed.
Welcome back once again to my show, Nobel by Richa. And we have a wonderful guest here, Ramesh Balasubramanian, and he is working as a vice president for a certain organization. It's my pleasure to have him here on the show. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Ramesh.
Thank you, Richa. It's been a pleasure here. And so I hope the conversation is going to be more insights and we take it forward from here.
Sure.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank you so
I
much.
just wanted to know, how is your journey been so far? Being a vice president of a certain organization, like how do you handle pressure and how is your journey been here so far?
See, the way I define pressure is we've seen what is impossible, right?
Mhm.
For me, impossible means I am possible. So as long as you have the mindset to say that, okay, this is something I want to achieve, to take something with passion. People talk about multitasking, right? Yes, you work in a way that you need to know how much you can chew and swallow, right?
Okay.
So as long as you're able to manage that, and we look at different aspects of pressure. So pressure is, for me, it's more in the mind. So as long as you are following various techniques to manage your mind, there are a lot of external factors which can influence you to manage pressures. There are people talk about coaching and all the stuff. End of the day, those are influencers, right? And what we really need to see is how as an individual I can take what I can do, right?
Mhm.
And for me, if I look at my corporate life, so when I become a VP, right, it's a pyramid, and I kind of get into, when I reach the top, I'm all alone, and that's where I relate to my own passion, being a trekker, right? So I do a lot of trekkings with my daughter, and when we start going out, right, we start in a group, say about 20 people, and then as we slowly start taking up, some people give up, and what I learned is from my daughter. At the age of 10, she did the Everest base camp, and when I saw her doing it, and I was saying, okay, is it really for me or not? But she was kind of taking a baby step and then going up. So then I realized, okay, what am I doing in corporate life? Why am I looking at things in a different way? Why am I, concluding? The pressure starts when you start concluding things. Rather, if you can say what is the means to achieve, right? As long as you put your efforts, as long as you see what is the art of possible, I think that way you can really manage pressures. The second point, the most critical, is people, you'll always have peer pressures. You'll see someone, okay, he's doing really well, he or she is doing really well, I'm not able to do this. That's where impossible comes in. When you split the word impossible, saying I am possible, it's in your mind, it's in your this one, that you are able to say, okay, I will do this, I am going to achieve this. So as long as you have your clear goals, as long as you have your clear thought process in terms of how you want to do it,
Mhm.
and if you're in a pressure situation when you're not able to do something, ask help, ask for help, right?
Okay.
You have you That's your peer group, you have your networks, you work with different people, ask for opinions. Of course, you can't go to everyone and ask for opinions, but it's, you always identify a mentor, you always identify someone who's been in your journey. It could be a parents, it could be a family, it could be your office boss, someone,
Yeah.
or someone, my first boss. Even today I kind of relate to him and look up to him for a lot of things.
Okay.
So that experience, right, is something that you can take it, but you can just simply implement it. You really need to see what is the best way, what is best suited for you, and then take it forward from there. So that's where we look at pressure. And today's corporate world, we've seen a lot of people, getting under stress, getting into trauma kind of situations. Unfortunately, I've seen of late, right? I've been reading news where people are, having heart attacks,
Yes.
not able to handle pressure, getting into alcohol and all those things. It's not that. I mean, at one step, when you look at a step back and see there's a family waiting for you, there's life beyond work pressure.
Yes.
So when you're able to see what is life beyond work, I think that maturity comes with age. And at a stage where, when you start looking at things in a different perspective, you if you have a problem, break it down. You will find solutions. But my solution to pressure is, do not give up. If you're not able to, if you don't have to be first in everything. If you're not able to do it, but cross the line. That's the important. As long as you have your vision, as long as you have the goal, I think you'll be able to achieve it. So that's how I look at pressure.
So so when you said that, break down your, suppose you have some problem, so
Yeah.
break down and resolve it. So how do you, break down? Can you just give some example for our audience?
So, okay, simple thing. Now, let's take traffic as an example, right?
Mhm.
So Bangalore is notorious for traffic. Now,
I
what do
think
I?
every city is,
Every city, but
on
at
that.
least Bangalore has become quite famous for its traffic jams and, a lot of criticism about it.
Yes.
So, is this something you can solve today? You can. Probably you can look at different modes of transport, different modes of things. But I can't go and say that tomorrow onwards I need a clean road. It's not. But what is the factors that influence the traffic jam? So you set an example. You set an example by following the lane, by following, break down the whole thing. What is causing the traffic jam today? It's people getting frustrated. It's some of the narrow roads, or it could be even the, what do I say, people just tailgating it.
Yeah.
So, what is under your control? Tailgating is under my control. So, let me start slowly avoiding tailgating. If everybody starts avoiding tailgating, then we go in a line. If you take ants as an example, right, you always see them going in a single queue, and there's no
Yes.
traffic jam I've
Yeah,
ever seen in
right,
ants,
yes.
right? So, that's how we need to follow. Let me apply it to my corporate world. You have a sales target, you have a cost target, right? Now, your as an organization, we'd set our goals, and they say, okay, you need to give me a GOP of 20% this year. Okay. Now, what are the factors influencing my GOP? It could be your, the ability to hire. You need to hire the right person, also pay for the right this one.
Yeah, right.
So you use your negotiation skills to hire the right people. You look at what are the avenues to reduce your cost, right? It could be your infrastructure cost. It could be more of an automation that you want to invest. So my problem statement is achieving my GOP.
Okay.
But what are my means? So I find about 5 to 6 means and try to start achieving one mean at a time.
Okay.
And it's not that I want to do everything in one go, right? I take a baby step, and it's always important. That's why I relate to my trekking, right?
Yeah.
When you start trekking, you start gaining altitude.
Yeah.
And always seen, right? When we start, we just start rushing it, right? And we have to preserve our energy, conserve energy. Sorry, not preserve, conserve energy. That's most important in trekking. And when I did my EBC with my daughter, right, she was pretty cool. She was just, and she said, "You want to go? I'm not here for a race, and I'm not going to compete with you guys. But my goal is reach the base camp,
Okay.
and I come at my own pace." And the best part was dealing with unknowns. So when you work with in the trekking experience, you work with Sherpas whom you've never met in your life,
Yeah.
but you learn to adapt to the lifestyle. And when I relate to corporate, you work with unknown people, you work with finance, you work with HR, you work with operations, and there are so many unknown people to you. But then how flexible you are, what makes you different, and the learnings that you apply. So that's where simple steps, if you have to solve a problem under pressure, break it down, keep it simple, and then solve it.
Okay. So nowadays, because of, a lot of stress, people, especially the young generation or the mid generation, again, you can say, they are going into, like you did mention that, maybe the alcohol or different sort
Different,
of,
yeah.
um, alcohol thing or the smoke thing.
Yeah.
So what is your thought about this? Like how they can, protect themselves from all these things?
See, for me, the Gen Z or the the kids who are coming into the corporate world, if I have to use the right word,
Yes.
right? So they are more, they're just completely different from, the college life to corporate life, right? And there's an I just, as an alumni of my own college, right, when I went to my college, I just look back and see how these kids are like. The whole corporate, if it is inculcated in the college system, in a curriculum, right, it helps you to, I'm not talking about work, but what is corporate culture? Sometimes office politics. I mean, we cannot avoid politics.
And I believe it's everywhere.
It's
I'm
everywhere.
not sure why only office
Office
politics
politics.
is,
I have
the
politics
word is
at home.
Yes.
I have politics with my friends.
Yeah.
So it's all.
So I don't know why that tagline is given office politics.
See, for me, it is not politics. It's an opinion, right? Somebody is giving an opinion, or somebody is trying to achieve a goal, and that opinion sometimes turns negative. And as an individual, if you're able to, you demark where you need to stop, how you need to help, and end of the day, it's becoming a rat race for everybody. And that's where the Gen Zs are now getting into.
Okay.
They want everything fast.
Yes.
You get into a corporate role, I want an iPhone 16.
Yeah, the overnight,
Thing, right?
sensation.
Yeah. So when I started, I had a Nokia 3310.
Okay.
And that was a big thing for me, right?
Yeah. And for that also we had to save money and
Save
ask
money
money
and-
from
yeah,
maybe
exactly.
parents or friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have to start, the moment you get into your mind that I have to make a living, I have to, start. And that's where, I always tell the college kids one thing. Till your education, right, till your college, what comes before your name matters. And after you finish college and you enter corporate, what comes after your name matters. So as long as you are able to qualify yourself,
Okay.
it's qualify yourself, not just getting degrees, but get real life experience, right? See how you're going to enter into a totally different world, right? You had your friends, you had a different, but you may also have to get into office. You will have your peers who are coming from different walks of life. So
Yeah.
when you, from school, when you enter college, you had people with, you studied with somebody for the last 10 years, and then suddenly you see people with, different cultures, different cities, different countries coming and
Yes.
sitting over here. That's how your corporate life is. So for Gen Zs, my whole, this one is, get your goals first. It's not just corporate goals, your personal goals. Next 3 years, this is what I want to learn. Focus on learning. Money will always come. Yes,
Okay.
today you may not earn the money, but in next 3 years, you will definitely get. And earning money has to be a sustainable one, not like a lottery, right? Today, somebody gives you a 50,000 bonus. You shouldn't be happy with it, right? You need to see, okay, what did I do to get this 50,000? So now, how do I make this 50,000 into 1 lakh or a 200,000, 300,000, whatever
But
it
now
is?
the mindset is like 50,000.
How do I
okay,
spend that 50,000,
spend it,
right?
Yeah.
That's not the way, right?
Yeah. And
you
I
need
think
to spend
especially on the gadgets,
gadgets,
and all.
social media. I mean, everybody criticizes social media,
Yeah.
but the way you want to use it, social media is a powerful tool.
Yes.
Look at things which are positive in the world. There are so many things. I mean, I'm not a very social media guy. I'm not in Insta, right?
Oh, okay.
But I keep myself upgraded. I keep myself looking at what talks like the shows that you conduct. Right? I've been
Yes.
looking at some of your, I think the previous instance somebody spoke about how they balance music with work and stuff
Yes.
like that. So those are things which you learn, and listen to people. Today we've lost the habit of reading, right?
Yeah.
People look at phones, everything is available in Google.
Yes.
I'm not blaming Google, and I don't want somebody to kill me for, but Google, use the Google in the right way. Look at
And
things.
people have no time to read the long script as
Exactly.
well. So because of this new trend, like 30 seconds, 60
Patience.
seconds, yeah, patience.
Patience.
I think less patience.
Absolutely.
People want everything in like 15 or
Jiffy.
30 seconds.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'll be like up, down,
I mean,
like
look
scroll
at
down.
the Swiggies and the Blinkits of the world, right? They
Yeah.
say delivery in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And in Bangalore, getting a delivery in 10 minutes. Or what trend are you setting? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, in fact, a few photos had come that I'm stuck in traffic and my delivery for the food came within in 10
10
minutes.
minutes, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's fun, but at the same time, there's a serious health hazards
We
also,
are
right?
pressurizing our delivery agents to
And
drive fast.
Exactly. And that's the pressure we see in corporate, right? It's X company is achieving 4% growth. Then obviously you come back and say, I want 8% growth.
The market standards.
But are you ready for it?
Yeah.
What are you doing to, uplift your employees? What are you doing to how much are you investing in technology? It's not just investing in technology, investing in the right technology and having the right infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, it's how you build the capabilities, right?
Okay.
Today people talk about Gen AI, bots. I mean, we started with macros, right?
Yeah, macros,
Then
yes.
we came to RPS. Came to RPS. We learned the learnings from RPS came into AI, and now it's Gen AI.
Yeah.
Like, okay, everybody wants to go into Gen AI, but are you looking at your process? How standards are your process? I mean, because how I'm relating to this pressure is because you want to achieve your results through Gen AI, but you're failing on your fundamentals. Are we able to fix the process first? The client says, I want everything automated.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready to do it, but how much are you willing to invest in it? It's a change management, right? And that's important. And as long as you talked about, what are these, how do you break the problems? So, change management, how do you standardize your process? How do you build the infrastructure and then achieve your goals?
Okay.
So, these are the baby steps that I would follow.
Okay, because I see a lot of employees, the younger generation, having the smoke and the alcohol, which is affecting their health. And I feel somewhere down the line that corporate should have some sessions on this. That if you're having this, that's your personal choice for sure. But these are the repercussions on your health for a long term. And I believe that there should be, like, we have a lot of learnings on different parameters in
True.
corporate, like people management, anger management, conflict management, etc. So how about introduction of these topic? I'm like, through this podcast, maybe we can request and give a idea to corporate, that they can have certain sessions with their audience, with their employees.
I mean, if you look at the last 3 years or 4 years, couple of years, corporates have been becoming giving a major focus on employee well-being, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of wellness sessions. In fact, some organizations have a dedicated department for employee well-being. It's not
Yes.
HR.
Yeah.
It's a complete department
Yes.
which talks about well-being. They get external counselors. They get psychologists. They get especially women after maternity.
Maternity leave.
It's a
Yes.
big this one for them to manage, right?
Yes.
And some of us, we need to learn from your wife, your mother, right? A working woman, she knows how to manage the family and she knows how to manage your boss and the office politics.
Yes.
I don't know what else can be more pressurizing than that, right? But I want you have your mother-in-law pressure, you have your husband pressure, you have your peer pressure, and everything. And
No, like, yeah, I can relate that. I have a 5 years
exactly,
old daughter, and that's how I'm managing my work and my this
exactly.
show.
So
Yes.
it's the ecosystem that really matters. And
Okay.
if coming back to the wellness topic, right? So today there's a lot of awareness coming about, and again I'm picking up a controversial topic which we spoke about 70 hours a week and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It is up to. It's not about our some of the organizations have come back, some have criticized, some have made it positive, but what we also need to see is how are we setting up the system for it, right? And now we see a lot of companies coming back and saying, okay, listen, we see you working terribly long hours, right?
Okay.
You're supposed to work for 9 hours or 10 hours, but I see you working for 12 hours. What's wrong? So
Yes.
they look at the fundamental things. So there is a lot of awareness which has started, right? Maybe it's late, but it started. And there's only to a point that an organization can take you. Then it's an individual
Yes, individual effort as
efforts.
well, and
Yeah,
your subconscious mind should know that what
absolutely.
exactly you
Yeah,
are doing.
and that's where I have money, so I may want to. There's a peer pressure to see. I mean, if you talk about alcohol and smoking, right? It's not in corporate. I see in schools now, and
Yeah.
schools and colleges.
And back then, when we were kids, it was not there.
It was not there,
It was
right?
not there.
And today, I see like I mean, it's a sad state of affairs,
Yes.
and that's where it goes back to your basics. How, as an educational institution, what are you trying to do? Today, some educations, at least majority of them, are trying to bring corporate speakers, right?
Yes.
As an alumni in my school, right, I'm being invited. In my college, I'm being invited to share my views and thoughts. So that's why my advice to the kids or the students who are coming out is focus on your goals. The rest will fall in place. And
Okay.
that's the most important. And set the right goal. So because the goals are multiples. One, obviously, you follow your corporate goals.
Yes.
But then what's your personal goal?
Yeah.
And always follow some passion.
Right.
It could be just sitting and watching stars, gazing stars, stargazing.
Yeah.
It's an art.
It's an art. It's an art.
It's an art.
Yeah.
Or some of us, like for me personally, I do two things. One is trekking is my passion, right?
Okay.
and also farming.
Farming, okay.
Yes, I'm into kind of the last 4 years, right? I mean, I was under tremendous pressure in office, and I always wanted to do something different.
Okay.
Wherein I don't wanted to see my laptop. So
Okay.
what could I do different? I thought, let me do something green.
Okay.
And this thought, one of my friend who's always into this, right? So he put this thought into me, and then we started a small venture. So I use my weekends to just go and look at my farm. You know, I'm not talking to the plants because I'm not that this one, but at least I make an effort to see it's still green.
Yeah.
So,
So you know about the process exactly, that
exactly,
how it's happening.
exactly.
And that again sets an example to our audience, that about the farming, like which you did mention, that
Yeah.
when you grow a seed, so what all steps are
Exactly.
done step by step, the baby steps which you were
Exactly.
mentioning.
Yeah.
So again, it's like a circle back conversation. So it's a great takeaway from this question. I'm hoping that our audience
Absolutely.
gets to understand that having pressure is fine, but you need to
Manage the
understand,
pressure. That's
manage
very
the
important.
pressure. Yeah. And please take care of your health. Stress
True.
will be there, but it does not mean that you will impact your health on a longer run.
Absolutely.
Yes. And
I mean, just last example of pressure, right? If you look at our police force, or
yes.
if you look at your public transport employees, right? At least for me, I'm still resonate to Bangalore, right? When I see the public transport, the drivers who go through those traffic, the amount of pressure they go through. But I always see some of them. I've seen they're always smiling.
Yeah, always
I
smiling.
don't know how they get it right.
Even in sun or rain, they
Rain,
are
they're
always
always smiling.
standing.
They're always
Yes.
standing. So that's something we need to learn, right? I mean, it's not a they're doing a mundane job. I mean, every day all they do is just to drive, but
Right.
the effort that goes to the pressure that they go through.
And they are not sitting in AC like
AC
us in
like
the
us,
corporate
exactly.
and punch in, punch
Yeah,
out.
it's
They
not a,
have to deal on a live
they're.
example.
I mean, they are carrying a responsibility of so many passengers
Yes.
and the people on the roads,
And the
right?
government as
And the
well.
government as well.
And
So
where taking out a camera and recording video is just a next task,
it's a
and putting it on
yeah,
certain social media.
and criticizing it.
Yeah, criticizing
What are
that.
you doing to improve it?
Yes. So I think a lot of negativity and
Absolutely.
misuse of social media
That's exactly the
is
first point.
happening.
I'm not I'm not against social media,
Yes.
but the negativity that we try to spread.
We are
I mean,
trying.
it's good to pass on a message, but
Yeah.
also give a solution.
Give a solution and give the credit to the people.
Absolutely.
If you're calling yourself the so-called word corporate mazdoor, there are a lot of people who are doing work.
Actual mazduri.
And yeah, the actual mazdoor, but they are taking pride to
Yeah.
do that for
Yeah,
the society
exactly.
and for everybody's well-being. So great takeaway from this. Thank you so
Perfect. Thank
much.
you.
Okay, so being at a certain position as a vice president, or being an individual as well, yeah, it's not only about the
Yeah.
designation. How do you create that space that some person can reach out to you and don't feel scared? So how do you break that? You can say the atmosphere that person can reach out to easily and can speak up without fearing the failure or the success.
See, probably it relates to the first question that you asked.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
So the way I look at this, for me, failure is a stepping stone for my success. Right? I learn from my failures. So as long as an individual is able to learn from his failures, it really helps him to do it. So if I have to take a step back and look at what did I do when I failed, a lot of things happen. Right? I failed in my school. I failed in my corporate life. But yeah, it's part and parcel. Like everybody can't be the first ranker.
Yes.
So what did I do? That you need to identify the right mentor. As I mentioned in my first lesson, right? Corporate life is like a pyramid. So the more you grow up in this, and you tend to become all alone, right? But for standing there, if you're able to see your feet, I think that will be the first step to know you can identify. And as you start growing, right, you've also identified friends. You've also worked with different people, and you would find comfort with. I mean, as a leader, right? What I want to really do is I give space, right? You need to be assertive, but don't be arrogant.
Okay.
So as long as because sometimes you have to be. That's your job. You have to put a foot down and say this is the way it has to be done. And it's not just about delegation. So the art of delegation is more in terms of how you want to achieve it. Teamwork. So as long as you are following these certain basic principles of life, I won't say management, of life,
Life.
it really helps and gives the space to people. You can see what I've seen in some of the corporates, right? Some of the team members, when you work with clients, they become too friendly, right? You can be a friend, right? But you need to draw a line. Don't be over friendly, right?
Okay.
So at the same time, as a leader, right, you have to. There's a thin line between professional and personal when you come to giving space, right? What I really look up is keep an open door policy.
Okay.
Keep the office open, and just make it a point, whatever it is, right? Just go around, talk to people, just say hi, hello, and look at things. Certain things, what I personally developed is I did something on my own to understand body language. If you look at person's face, you know that whether he's happy or small. Do some small events, do a team huddle, and just talk about things what happened. And most of us, right, when we reach office after this traffic, it's a frustration. So give them the space.
Okay.
Give them the space to breathe in and breathe out, right? Maybe just get them some a cup of coffee, right? Sometimes I do it. When somebody comes to my room, I just say, "Look, have a coffee or something."
Okay.
So you start creating the bond, right? Again, I want to call out here, it's not a personal bond. You create a professional bond, right?
Okay.
And then you always have, keep talking to people about life and what it is, and create that space, and give them the confidence that to err is human. You make mistakes. Talk about your own mistakes, right? And how you handled it. What did you do? And in fact, in some of our organizations, right, one of the key aspects of interviews called the behavioral interviews. So in the behavioral interview, we give a situation to assess how the person is handling the situation. And you also get to see what it is. And if a person makes a mistake, right, what's the root cause? Is it a skill issue or a will issue? If it is a will issue, there's a different method you treat with it.
Yeah.
If it is a skill issue, yeah, you can upskill the person. But it's not necessary that you keep agreeing to all the mistakes or putting up with all the mistakes. There is a time bound efforts.
Yeah,
You
there's
give
a
them a three
saturation
option.
point of doing
There's
mistakes.
I wouldn't call it saturation. There's a patience level
Okay,
or
yeah.
tolerance, right?
Okay.
You give them an opportunity, three opportunities, and the
Yes.
three opportunities the person is not making a progress. That's a different thing. So what is the key thing? The flexibility. So keep an open door policy. You, as a leader, right? It's not that you have to be always stern and this. The ability of a leader to hide the pressure or the pain behind and talk. I'm not saying be pseudo, but look at. There are a lot of people who are looking at you, right? So for a minute, you have to really park. Also, use that opportunity to see what you can learn from the team.
Yeah.
The moment you start, you use an approach that you're going to learn from the teams, it creates the space. And then people come to you and say, okay, this is what I have, this is my problem. I've seen many people coming to me and saying that, do I route to study or do I need to continue with my work? And as a leader, I don't want to lose people.
Yes.
Do I have to be honest? What do I do in such situations?
Yeah.
I say, you study. But at the same time, I don't want organizations say, okay, boy, because of you, I'm losing people, I'm having attrition.
Yes.
So that's why I use the company policies.
Okay.
The company allows you to sponsor your education.
Yes. Lot of companies.
A lot of
do.
companies do it.
Yes.
But people don't know about it.
Yes.
They know what is happening in thug life, or they know what's happening in the cinemas or Bollywood, but they don't know what's the corporate policies.
The different departments.
Different departments.
Yes.
There are different people there are educational counselors in
Yes, and they have connections with the different colleges
universities,
as
right?
well. Yes.
So-
in fact, I have done my graduation like that while working.
Exactly. So it is balancing between the two.
Yes.
And sometimes, you will be asked for example, one of my, team she's pursuing a PhD, right? And she has to go for thesis submission and stuff like that. I said, go ahead. But yeah, we need to balance the work. Post-pandemic, you're given the option of work from home or work from
home.
anywhere.
Yes.
So try to use those leverage. Try to use those levers. I'm sorry.
Instead of sleeping.
Instead of sleeping or watching a Netflix or something.
Yeah,
right?
during work
Watch.
from
I'm not
home.
saying you watch.
Yes.
You should. You should
And
have
you
some.
sleep as well,
You sleep.
as per your body needs.
The most important thing, right? Probably this is again related to your first question. Sleep. Minimum 6 hours of sleep is definitely, that gives you a fresh peace of mind.
Do you want to increase it till 7? Because
When I say
universally
6,
it is 7.
It's 6 hours of core sleep.
Core sleep. Okay, to be specific.
Very, very, like you're in a deep sleep.
Yeah.
Like even if there's a cracker bursting next to you, you shouldn't get up.
Okay.
That's the core sleep. That's an art of how you, and the way I practice this, right? I don't watch phones when I sleep. People have tendency to reach their emails or listen to music or whatever.
Yes.
I switch off the Wi-Fi. I switch off my data. I just keep the phone on and I just sleep.
Okay.
10 minutes before, and I'm going to deep sleep. and that kind of gives me, like, at least I know 4 to 5 hours I'm in deep sleep. It gives me a fresh perspective when I get
A
up in the morning.
disconnect from the
Disconnect,
world
yeah,
and from everything.
everything, right?
Like that is core
Core
sleep.
sleep.
Okay.
So that helps me to manage pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I missed out in the first question, but this is
Yes.
the second aspect relating to your this one. How do I keep that open policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to dedicate some time to your team members or to your whoever is coming to you, right? You have a 9 hour job, right? And you have to make sure that just spend 10 minutes, right, during a lunch. When somebody is in a problem, just invite them, call them over for lunch, and then
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, let's have lunch together, and create that space. And somebody makes a mistake, as I said. I mean, I remember in one instance in my own organization where there was a person who made a major mistake, right? It was a financial error,
Mm-hmm.
and it had an impact on shareholders because they were publishing the results.
Yeah.
And that person just simply stood up and said, I made a mistake. And
And it takes a lot of courage to
takes a lot
say
of courage.
this. Yeah.
And he said, that courage I learnt it from you, because he said, I've seen you sometimes where in the client calls, when your team has made a mistake, you take that ownership and say, it is my responsibility to, and I take that ownership for
Yes.
it.
And this such leaders,
Leaders.
we always want to work
Yeah,
with.
absolutely. So, as long as you are taking your team's issues on you and give the credit to the team, put them in the front end.
Yeah.
So, because I think you have reached a position by achieving all those things. You don't have to still say that, okay, I have done that. There's a lot of difference between I and we.
We.
Right?
Yes.
So it is we, and when you get the credit right, it's the we who should stand in the front, and you should always see in the behind. So you are the backbone of the team.
Yes.
So as long as you have that mindset as being the backbone of the team, you start giving more comfort to the team members. People talk about attritions. People, they always say it's people work for the individual or for the organization, not for money. I beg to differ a bit here. People do work for money, because at the end of the day, you also need to manage money
Yes.
in this one. But as long as you're giving the right environment to the office, in the workspace,
Yeah.
the ability for anybody to come and discuss anything. I've got instances where people have come and spoken about their family issues and stuff like that. Am I the right person to give you the
But I feel that you have created that safe
ecosystem?
zone.
It's an
Yeah, the
ecosystem.
space that where they
So,
can come up and they can
and
vent out
I
maybe.
be very candid with them. I say, look, I'm not going to solve your problem,
Yeah.
but I can be a means for you to vent it out.
Yes.
If you feel that's going to give you a comfort,
Just be a good listener.
good listener. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
And uninterrupted listener, which is very important.
Yes.
Because if somebody is speaking and venting it out, one of the key things which I've learned is never interrupt.
Yes. Let them talk.
Let them vent it out. Let them talk. Because otherwise, I don't want them to go and have a cigarette or a alcohol.
Yeah. The first question which we are talking about. Yes.
So it's better that they vent it out and then calm down a bit.
Okay. So over the social media, there is a, you can say, interesting reel which goes around that you should not keep your managers, or your team members in your social media, the personal circle, because it is dangerous. Dangerous in the sense they will get to know about your personal things and they might misuse it during your, like promotions or the other aspects in your work life. So how do you want to break this?
See, as I said, right?
So again, still they, I'm sorry to cut you in between, but so it's like, they're still carrying the weightage of being judged or the fear, and the conception is there the office colleague can't be your friends or family. I'm not saying that everybody will become your family, but a certain limit, we can be a family or friends, but there's a fear that no, office people will be till office only. And time comes when somebody is on the notice period or they leave the organization, they say that beyond this, I'm not going to be in touch with everyone. So there's a lot of hatred, I can say, with the colleagues with whom you are working for 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. So how do you want to break this?
See, I would take a step back. As I said, I'm solving this problem with a baby step, right?
Yes.
It all boils down in terms of as an as an individual you are, right? We all talk about teamwork and everything, but the team is formed with a bunch of individuals. So as an individual, what is that you are leading by example? How transparent you are, right? You cannot have create a fear of repercussion within your team, right? If you do this, this is what is going to. I've seen where people who have just got into the management role, they have that fire to deliver results.
Yeah.
They forget the passion or they need to show empathy, and that's missing out. If you start creating that ecosystem, obviously people will have that fear and they'll say, okay, we part as friends. Or part as friends is a big statement, right?
Or the trust is that
Trust is
line.
broken.
Yeah, trust is broken. It's only the professional talks.
So I'm not saying get into personal relationship or having those kind of. But if you are being very transparent and you start explaining the reason why you're doing this, right? If you're asking someone to say, okay, buddy, you need to work another 2 hours today. I'm going to be here, right? The reason I'm asking you is because this is the deadline and this is how we need to meet it.
Okay. So the intention behind
Intention,
the ask?
yes.
Okay.
The intention behind the ask, if you start communicating that, the people will start looking up to you, right? None of us like to work on a weekend.
Yes.
But if you as a finance professionals, you have to sometimes, there's a pressure to close your books.
The monthly closures.
Monthly closures.
Yes.
There are leaders, I mean, with all due respect, right? Somebody would say, sitting at home, do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
Some leaders would prefer to be connected with from home and online and do this.
Yeah.
Some of them want to be with the team.
And I'm like, with again the due respect, some of them will say that just do it and the credit will come to I, not the we.
And that's where your social media comes. Like
Yes.
you, as a leader, you say do this, and you post your picture with family in a social media. Obviously,
The hit will happen to
hard,
your subordinates.
So you need to take a step back and remember that you also came up the same way, right?
Yes.
So as long as that relates to my first statement. If you're able to see your feet from the top, that's how you're grounded. So you need to be grounded.
Okay.
You need to make sure that you are giving the space to the employees.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very important. The space matters a lot. Today I have people like in my corporate world, my first organization, we're still connected.
Yeah.
I'm connected with my boss.
Yes.
Everybody wants me to come back.
Okay.
Or I have my people whom I want them to come back.
Okay.
So that's how we create the ecosystem. And you can't have, in a 10-member team, you can't have everybody the way you want it.
Yes.
So you need to identify the core top 3 or 4.
And I believe with one episode of mine, there was one guest who said that you need to handle 10 different people with 10 different strategies. You can't
Absolutely.
use the same strategy to
Exactly.
handle all the 10
Understand.
team members.
And that's why you're a leader.
Because every person is different. The thought process.
Process.
Yeah. And that's why you are a
Leader,
leader.
yeah.
People are looking up to you
Exactly.
and learning. But if you are setting the wrong example, again, the depression, the
Everything.
health issues,
Yes.
and attrition will happen.
And team members are like 5 fingers, right?
Yes.
Nothing is same.
Nothing is same.
So you have to really
But
balance
all
your
fingers are important. So all team
Exactly.
members are
Are
important.
important.
And everybody has their own potential.
And this whole, I don't know, it's a controversial statement, but I'm a big critic of rating system, right? Yes, you have to rate a person for your bonus, for your appraisals.
But we can look it as like boosting as well.
That's exactly. So when I say,
Yeah.
I mean, as long
why
as
we are seeing that, okay, somebody is got rated at 5 and I am rated at 3, why I am seeing it in a negative way? I can take it in a positive way that, okay, what can I do maybe to reach 4 or 4.5? Like
I
a
would
booster.
relate this to, and all the parents are going to get angry with me. I would relate it to our house setups, right? When as a kid,
Yeah.
I've seen parents saying, this guy's got first rank, why can't you get a first rank?
But nowadays there's a shift.
It's a shift
because
now.
I'm a parent of a new generation.
It's a new generation.
Yeah.
But at least in this one, right, we always seen people saying, when he can score, why can't you score? You're not doing this.
Because when I can proudly say, like, when my daughter breaks something, she looks at me and I have given her that confidence that it's okay, it's bound to break and you can move ahead. So that's how, now things are changing. But yes, back then when we were kids, yeah.
And that's the
report
generation.
card was
The report card was this one.
a
So
scary
I consider the report card as my ratings today, right?
Yes.
Oh, if I get a needs improvement, what's going to happen? The whole pressure has also come up with the demand supply concept. When it's a needs improvement, I have the fear of losing my job, right? And that's the worst thing to happen, especially people who are above 40, in the age between 40 to 50. It's called the midlife crisis.
Yes.
And you are at such a stage where you have family responsibilities, you have a lot of things, be it men or women, anybody, right?
Yes.
So how do we handle those situations? And that's where, as leaders, we play a vital role. Yes, you take a tough call to say that, sorry, we don't have, you're not required anymore in the organization.
And that's not an easy thing.
It's not an
People
easy thing.
think that, leaders are getting
Ruthless.
enjoyment
No, it's
out
not.
of saying
It's not.
this.
And I've seen many leaders who can't look into the eye and speak.
Yes.
But what I definitely, I've also done that. I'm forced. I mean, situation demands,
Situation. It was
right?
it was
So
not you. It
it
was
was
the
situation.
situation.
But then we also encourage to say what next.
Yeah.
What are the options available? And I always believe in something. You always keep your options. Need to have backups, multiple. You talk about backup for a process. You talk about backup for your finances. You talk about backup for your life.
Yeah.
And life does not stop. It's very easy for me to sit and say here, and I know the challenges that people go through, but you slowly start building a passion.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen many people picking up a passion at the age of 50 or 55, which they wanted to do probably when they were 20.
Yeah, and they could not do due
They
to
could not do
certain
a lot of
family issues
family
or
issues,
any
the
kind of
ecosystem, whatever it is.
financial issues.
So start when you are able to give that space, right? That's where people start coming and talking to you, and they don't do anything stupid,
Yeah.
right? When they lose a job, when they do a mistake, it's absolutely fine. There was another instance, right? I'll talk about. This is just happened in my own team. There was an entry posted, and this is it's not in India. It's happened outside India,
Mm-hmm.
and the person said, and there was a huge issue because they said it's a incorrect entry. Everybody in the because it was a key client, and everybody like the CFOs, the CEOs, everybody was sounding on that person individual.
Mm-hmm.
That individual was a senior associate, maybe with about 5 years of experience.
It's just start of the
Start off,
career.
right? All he said was, I followed the process. This is what my desktop procedure is saying,
Okay.
and I followed this.
Hmm.
It is you who signed off this.
Hmm.
So why are you putting it on me?
Okay.
He had the ability to stand up and tell me,
Yeah.
as well as my CEO and the CFO, saying it was you guys who designed the process.
Yes.
How come am I responsible for it? So that's the eco-space system that as an organization we have developed.
Okay.
You have the ability to speak up. There are speak up forums. There are different things. So as a leader, right, you are the engine to guide.
Yeah.
So you can't solve everybody's problem, but you help them to find the avenues to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are able to solve everybody's problem, then you're not a human being. You're
Yeah.
a god or superhuman being, whatever you call it, right? So, but you need to find your experience. That's where your experience comes.
Yes.
So your hair is grey, just not like that. It's your experience.
It's your experience.
So
Yes.
you need to find out what is the best avenue for this person,
Okay.
and then provide that. When you're able to give that platform, right, people start coming to you. We talk about open door policies and everything. Yes, there is a thin line where you need to know what is personal and
Okay.
friendliness as well as professional.
Professional.
With some individuals, you have to be very professional because you want them to learn.
Okay.
A friendly approach may not work, but with few individuals, it's your emotional quotient. How well, the first thing I try to do as a leader is to help people manage their emotional quotient.
Okay.
And see, people, there are a lot of sayings that I'm not emotional. I'm not. Everybody have emotions. It's a ability to manage your emotions. It's ability to have your body language, your face, your reactions. That's what is controlling your emotions. But you cannot say that I'm not emotional. Everybody is emotional.
Everybody is
There are some
emotional.
emotional things, right? So that's how people work. And one of the things I learned in my trekking, right, in helping each other, right, I've seen the Sherpas, right, they carry loads like, they carry a full, for 4 to 5 cylinders, fully loaded cylinders. And I see each other helping each other and walking through. And when they come with us, right, they don't know us at all. But they come, talk to us, and we get that comfort of saying, asking them for help or, what it is. But because we feel that they know everything in this world. So if your team member gets that comfort, and the Sherpas may not know everything,
Yeah.
but at least they'll find a way to solve your problem.
Yeah. Or maybe just saying that, I don't know this, but at least you're giving that space,
Space
that
to-
person is reaching
exactly,
out to
exactly.
you. So that trust, telepathy trust, you can
Just
say
one
you are
thing, yeah,
building up.
building up. So it's, and it doesn't come over the years. I mean, over the period, overnight, right? It comes over the years. So as when you start building the team, it's important that you get the right leader and you lay the foundation. And today, right, I mean, when I started my career, I have people who are my team members still come to me. I go to my boss. I mean, he is almost in his retirement age,
Okay.
but I always go look up to him for anything and everything as help. Despite me having a successful corporate life and everything, but I feel I don't know much.
Yes.
So
There's always a room for
room for improvement, learning.
and yes.
So as long as you have that in your mind, in your thought process, that it's not I and it's a we, I think that will create space, and that will also help people to look up to you, come to you, talk to you, make yourself approachable.
Okay.
But all I would again caution is there's a thin line. You don't get over friendly. You have to manage balance.
Okay. So with this conversation, I really expecting that, certain leaders, I'm not, targeting any leader,
Yeah.
with all due respect, request to all the leaders to create the space, so that, people start trusting you, even it should not be only verbal trust. It
Yeah.
should be telepathy trust that, okay,
Exactly.
if I'll reach out to this person, he or she might not give the proper solution, but at least show me a way.
Yeah. I mean, let's take example of Mr. Abdul Kalam, right? Generally, scientists are considered to be individuals, right?
Yeah.
They are more of this one. But when you look at Sir Abdul Kalam, he got the entire country towards him because that's the, what do I say, uh, down to earth personality he was.
Yeah, and he did connect with the kids as
As
well.
well, right? Everybody looks up to him as a role model.
Yes.
So that's the leadership that we all need to
And
go
I
for.
would like to give credit to you as well. Like when I reached out to you just on social media, and the way you agreed, you gave me that space that okay, let's do the show. So that's how it did boost up my confidence, and you gave me that space that okay, Richa, let's do it. So
It's the passion again. For
Yeah.
me, if not, I'm not sure, I don't know, the entire conversation is well understood by people, but even if they take a small example and they feel they can apply it, I think that's a big success for us.
yeah, it's about helping each
Excellent.
other. Yeah. With all this conversation, I want to understand that how do you, when you get overwhelmed, how do you reset yourself? Like you said, everybody is emotional.
Yeah.
And yeah, so how do you handle yourself?
I mean, the first thing I try to do is ignore the problem or forget the problem, right?
How? Okay, we really want to know this.
I said, okay, if is this end of my life?
Okay.
No, right? Then you get so annoyed with certain things. I mean, if I look at my corporate, right? I see some emails coming through me, and I said, what and I get so agitated. The first biggest mistake, I don't know if it's a mistake, but people tend to start responding in their phone.
Yeah.
Today's world, because I want to give this, I want to do this.
Yes. Ceasing
Seeing
everyone.
everybody and doing everything, right? I also do that. But I don't hit the send button. I just, okay, calm down a bit. Once I do it, right, then I put the phone down. I just walk around or, go talk to somebody, come back, and then open my system because the same email, I read it again. I said, oh, what have I written?
Okay.
Should I really write this? And
Okay.
what is the intention of the person?
So is it like holding yourself in
Holding
that
yourself back. That's what's
situation? Okay.
take a step back. It's very easy for people to take a step back. And did I do it from a day one? No. It took me almost 6-7 years to do that. And I learned it the hard way because I used to immediately respond. I used to go pick up a conversation. It was not a conversation. Rather, it was not a debate. It was a fight.
Okay.
I said, how can you even tell me? How can you do this to me?
And I think it happens when we are
the
at
young blood or
initial,
what
yeah,
it is, right? So,
yeah.
and people talk about saying, I mean, there are different ways to control it. People say follow yoga, listen to music. Somebody say go have a cigarette or whatever it is, right? You do what is best. I
Okay.
mean, for me, sometimes I take a sip of water or, just smile or remember a cartoon. Tom and Jerry always keeps coming
Yeah,
to mind.
okay.
So I just remember some of those things and then come back to it and then find a response, right?
Okay.
And I use my instincts such a way that, if you really have to go hard on somebody, you cover your base well, right? You need to look at, it's your memory also sometimes. For me, I'm not saying I have a great memory, but I always look at things, the transactional or how it's come through. And then I take a deep breath and then say, okay, do I have to make sure I copy everybody and put that person down, or should I have a one-on-one conversation? This one would be always I recommend is have a one-on-one conversation. Either
Always
pick up the
CC is not
CC is not
required.
required, and always email is not required
Yeah.
because what you write and what you think may not be what is actually written.
But again, I'll break down here, because in corporate, they say that keep everything documented.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
But then you have a conversation first. You tell him, this is what I understood. Is this your intent? And the person, no, this was not I meant. I didn't want to, but I just wanted to convey this, but I just wanted my leadership to know about it. People come back. But because probably they also feel little awkward. They start realizing the mistake, saying that, oh, I shouldn't have done this.
Okay.
A simple conversation. Then you say, okay, you've written. I will respond it one-on-one to you,
Okay.
but this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Can I do it for every instance? I don't know. But maximum possible, you can try it. So, yes, you have a tough email coming through. Your client is, let's take an example of clients, right? They come and shoot out saying that, oh, my entire business is stopped. You've not done this. You've not done this. Every possible criticism in the world. First thing you do is pick up the phone, talk to the client, talk to your colleagues, whoever it is, and try to understand and try to explain what is it. And if you, before going it, do your groundwork. If you know that, okay, your team has done a mistake, they have not followed the process, that's a different action. As a leader, right, the one thing I really want to follow and what I advise is never let your team down in front of others.
Okay.
You never let your family down in front of people.
Yes.
Right? So that's
Yes.
how I manage.
Yeah. And this is
The closed door
very
conversation,
much to be
yeah,
heard,
yeah.
you know.
The closed
much
door
required.
conversation will be a different conversation.
Yes.
That's where people, the goes to again the previous question, how do you create the space?
Yes.
This is what you do. You don't want to humiliate anybody, or you don't want to pass the buck and then sit down. But when you take accountability for it, and you, with your experience, you're going to negotiate with the clients, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But this does not, I mean, this will not work if it's a recurring one, right?
Okay.
I mean, I can't keep saying that, oh, I killed somebody, I'll keep killing, then I say sorry. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You make a mistake, you realize what it is, you put your checks and balances, and make sure it doesn't happen. It can't be like, I keep making mistakes. Then you keep getting into the cover saying, oh, it's a fresh mistake. No, it doesn't work. So there's a serious problem of skill.
Yeah.
That's where you need to identify that.
Yes.
And then you have a conversation. There are certain conversations which you address as an individual.
Okay.
There are certain conversations you address as a group, in a group, right? So what I do, and relating to the situations, right? You have to balance and take a candid call, saying, do I have to really react to situations? And it doesn't come, at least for the Gen Zs, right? It's no, you get that young,
The young blood.
I don't know it's the right word, young blood, but Josh.
Yeah,
right?
Josh.
So how can that person talk to me like this? It is not my mistake. So as long as you try to you have a defensive mindset, that's something you need to avoid. You need to defend, but don't keep a defensive mindset.
Like a chess game, you think of 3 steps ahead, and then that's how you make your move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see sometimes I like the way the wars are being won. You might lose some battles, but win the war.
Yeah.
For me, for me, winning the war is for me to get my team to the next level. If I'm able to promote at least 10% of my team, right, it's a big win for me.
Yes.
I might have to sacrifice few, like the chess pawns, right?
Yeah.
I may have to sacrifice them, but sacrifice doesn't mean I completely cut them off, but
Yeah.
I give them some different avenues. So there are certain policies which the organization is coming up, right? When they call up, they say, okay, give opportunities. Sometimes I've seen people so this one about a particular individual that you create a dependency and you become so possessive and saying, no, I will not release this person to anything new.
Yes, it happens.
As a leader, the first thing I say is make yourself redundant. The moment you're redundant, you see more opportunities coming. But what happens, unfortunately, in today's world, because of so many, demand supply and the fear of losing jobs, people don't want to become redundant. For me, it's a different way because they think I might not get anything new. But for me, by making myself redundant, I've not only established a process, but I've also made sure it's sustained. And I also look at an opportunity to take something new. So if you can't start getting that mindset, I think that will really start looking at the situation. And you don't get overwhelmed because sometimes you always have this fear of, okay, what if I lose this guy? What if something goes wrong? Somebody is on leave on a critical day. How do I manage it? So that's where you look at your simple basic steps. What can be automated? What can be done? And real life situations, take a deep breath. Stay calm in situations. It's very easy for people to say. They say, okay, if somebody says yoga worked for me. For me, yoga doesn't work. But for me, walking in the morning works for me. I want to make sure that I walk in the morning.
Okay.
So again, I'll relate to my trekking experience, right? You feel so overwhelmed by carrying your backpack and then climbing up. You go as the moment you start increasing altitude, right? After 10,000 feet, there's less of oxygen. You don't get your taste buds.
Yes.
So you don't feel like eating and you feel so overwhelmed and you want to give up.
Yes.
But there are very few. Again, I relate to my daughter where she says, "No, I will just go." I mean, there's a lot of things like, as I said, as a leader, right? What's the difference between leader and manager? For me, sometimes a school kid who's a class leader is a leader.
Okay. This
Um,
class monitoring.
Class
Yes.
monitor.
Yeah.
He's a monitor. He's taking charge of the situation.
Yeah.
So a leader for me is who takes charge of the situation and not just executes what's been told.
Okay.
For that, I don't need a
Hmm.
highly qualified manager. I need a leader.
Yes.
And that's where, when you're so overwhelmed, right, people make mistakes. And leaders learn from the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at things. And the most important part, right, it is, again, how you break down your problems. Maybe I'm harping the same thing, but it all goes back to your basics.
Yes.
And it's how you look at things from a different way. I mean, I know you're under pressure for time and everything, but it's just that 3 minutes, take a step back and look at things from, just move away from that and then come back. It's a practice I follow. I mean, I've seen situations where every week I've been hounded saying, your margins are not there, you're not going to meet your margins, you're not going to meet your numbers. Okay, I know every Thursday I have to get into this call. The initial days, I used to get so overwhelmed. I used to break down, right? And then I said, okay, what am I doing different? How can I make it different? Then I approached people saying, this is my problem. What do I do? So I talk to not my peers, I talk to people below me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a learning, right? And they come with some different experience and they give you different ideas.
Okay.
Is that practical? That is where your leadership comes into play, because what can I take and apply? So when you're always overwhelmed, don't think you're alone.
Okay.
Use the right people, have the right contacts. It could be industry contacts, it could be your school friends, it could be anybody.
Anybody.
But choose the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with experience, because somebody might, just for the sake of it. I've seen a lot of people giving, opinions just for the sake of it,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't, I mean, yeah, it's good. But then should I really follow it or not? It's a call. And
Okay.
that's where, because everything can't, as a CEO of the organization, right, there is ownership on your decisions. But the
Yes.
CEO also relates to or trusts on people below him. People might give him a lot of inputs, but then he takes what is best for the organization.
Yes.
And that's the reason he's the CEO, right? Because he is able to see that farsightedness.
I
right?
can relate this thing to my, this podcast
Exactly,
channel. Yes.
exactly. So you know what is the best.
Yeah, like
and you
all
talked
the
about
decisions.
you want to do the editing, you want to do everything on your own.
Yes.
But it's not that you're going to do it on your own. You will obviously, you would have learned it from somebody. You would have
Yes.
seen somebody doing it. And then okay, this is the best method to do it. Because there are a lot of means to achieve it. But what's the best method to do it? I think as long as you're able to identify that. And that doesn't come with any textbooks. It comes with practical experience. So the more, you're exposed to problems, the more, I mean, today that's what in our family also, right? We put a solution, we put a problem statement to my daughter, and then we encourage her to come up with some solutions.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing in corporate world. I put my problem to the teams. I say, okay, tell me what's your solution. So it's not that I'm passing my problem to somebody, but I'm just only trying to seek an opinion. So when you're especially overwhelmed, I think most important is to keep your mind straight.
Okay.
There are different, I'm not prescribing that this is the only way to do it. As I said, people follow yoga, people might want to just go for a run and come back. I've seen
Or do some hobbies.
hobbies,
just
something.
hobbies.
And again, you need to be mindful of your time, right?
Mhm.
Just because I want to come and you can't go out for half a day leave and then say, I'll look at it tomorrow. So the other thing is, when you're overwhelmed, do not postpone it. Try and solve it immediately.
Okay.
Because the more you keep penning.
Yes.
I've always seen, whenever I get my report card, it's a problematic situation at home. Either I get it signed today and get done with it, or I keep it for 1 month and brood over it. Right?
Okay.
So just avoid that. Simple.
Okay. You just took us in a nostalgic childhood days.
That's exactly. So it's what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So if you receive an escalation, your team members are copied and they'll be scared to come and talk to you, right? That goes to your previous question.
Yeah.
They will be scared for the first time, but when they see you approaching the problem and solving it, they'll come and say, in fact, today I have a couple of my team managers coming and telling me that, you know what, this is going to come your way. There is an escalation expected. So be prepared. So when you're reaching that stage, you feel so happy that this person has got the trust that come what may, your leader is going to stand with you.
Okay.
So that's way you're not going to be overwhelmed. So at least it gives me some time to prepare, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
So,
at least school, your teachers give you a warning saying
yeah.
you're going to lose
Otherwise,
marks.
next time,
You're
yeah,
going to lose
get your
marks,
parents.
get your
Yes.
parents, or you're going to lose marks. So at least I know that this escalation is coming through, or this issue is going to pop up. You solve it, and it's always, and leadership comes with experience. And I mean, people are born leaders. A lot of management gyan, everything is there. But I would always say how much of the experience comes, right? The ground level experience. So you, if you have to become a strong leader, you need to know what's happening on the ground. That will help you to manage any kind of situations.
Okay.
And that's, yeah, overwhelming is always there, but it is how you look at things from a different perspective. As I said, right, mountaineering, if you look at it, it is, when you look at, oh, I have to climb 14,000 feet, I have to walk about 130 kilometers, it's overwhelming. But you take a baby step. You're not going to do that overnight.
Yeah. Step by step.
Step by step. You,
With some
from
breaks.
camp
Yes.
1 to camp 2, one break.
Yeah.
And then you look at it. So, okay, this is my problem. I have 5 different problems. Which is my priority? Right?
Yeah.
So I always say, okay, my boss's problem is my priority, and I solve that. So that's how you look at it. So then you start addressing things in a systematic way. It's just not about addressing things. It's also how you find a way that the solution that you're giving is sustainable.
Okay.
So if you look at your Six Sigma concepts, like there's repeatability and process. So it's how you are making sure that the same mistake is not repeated. To err is human. I mean, we always say that. But if you keep repeating, it's foolishness.
Yes.
That's where you need to identify what is your skill and the will. So if you're not able to identify the will issues, everything falls on your plate and you get overwhelmed.
Right.
And you need to know the art of delegation, because you can't carry everybody's load on your head. As long as you're able to split and you're able to do it. I mean, there are times I've seen leaders saying that I come and do the first swipe, I start the server, and then only everybody works. That's not required.
Not required.
Not required. You need to create a team. You're not going to create a railway engine or a bogies, right? Only if the engine moves, the bogies are going to move. No. You probably, I mean, I've seen the today's modern trains, right? You have an engine behind, you have an engine in the front.
Yes.
So you need to balance out which engine you want to be. Sometimes you need to be in the front and pull your team, or sometimes you go to push your team. So that's the
new
balancing
trend,
act that you
we
have
need
to manage.
get, right.
So as long, see, these are small things, but it's how you observe things on the street, right? I mean, this train example, I've always seen metros, but how many of us try to relate this? That's what I would say. Your reels, your social medias can talk about a lot of things, but these are practical things. When I travel in the metro, I've seen so many people are so much into their reels and this one. Sometimes I get so annoyed because the sound that comes out, the noise. I said, why don't you just enjoy it? Look at the traffic and enjoy it. Feel pity for the people who are on the streets and you're in the public transport, in the
Under
comforts
the
of the
AC,
AC
yeah.
and everything, right? So
Have money to afford it as well.
Yeah, or catch up on sleep.
Yeah, that's the best
That's
thing.
the best thing, right? So again, the overwhelming topic, I mean, it's very, today's leaders, right, they find it very difficult to manage. And this leads to your first question of managing pressure, because the moment you're overwhelmed and you don't know what's the solution, you get into a pressure situation. And the moment you get into pressure situation, you create a wall which will not let people come near you. Or you have to be very candid to go and tell your team, I have a problem. What do we do? Does anybody have a solution to it? Talk about it.
Okay.
Go to your peers. People would have seen different set of problems, different kind of situations they would have come across. Somebody would give you a suggestion. If you don't know anything, right, go to the person who's created this problem and say, boss, I don't know what to do. Tell me, do you have a suggestion for this?
Okay.
Not many people do that.
Yes.
So there's a fear. You would be considered as somebody who's not intellectual or don't know how to manage things and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Be brave. That's some organizations have the core values of being bold and brave. Follow the core values. Be bold enough to admit saying you don't know. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's
So
the
with
best part.
all this conversation, like if you want to just say, in one or two lines that what is the misconception is there about the leader, and what is the real fact? Like, if you just want to say it in one or two lines and give our audience a closing statement on our show, so what is the one thing?
See, as a leader, don't think that you are the boss.
Hmm.
Be carry your team with you. Carry, make sure that you help people break down their problems. Don't
Okay.
give solutions.
Okay.
Break down the problems for them, and the solutions will come automatically. And there's always a saying, you don't teach somebody how to eat the fish,
Yeah.
teach them the fishing.
Okay.
So don't spoon feed the teams. Put them. You've seen, the who are the best learners for swimming? It's the babies. The moment you throw them into the pool, they swim and they come out.
Okay.
If I jump into the pool, I just drown.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the team, you be more as a guide. You be their guru, and give them the space. Make sure that they have confidence in you, trust. As leader, many people say that people trust me, but it's not. Trust doesn't come automatically. So it's very important that you build that trust and you live by your trust. That's what I would say.
Okay. So, great takeaway. Thank you so much for coming to my show, and we really had a great discussion, and looking forward to have more conversations with you in our next episodes.
Richa, absolute pleasure, and thank you so much. And I just hope through this medium we are able to pass on this message to the future leaders.
Definitely. I'm
Thank you so
looking
much.
forward. Thank you so
Thank
much
you much.
once
My
again.
pleasure. Thank you.